Let me take those points of view to three eminent lawyers who join us on the show now. KTS Tulsi, Gopal Jain and Hitesh Jain of ALMT all join us on the show. Hitesh will join us in just a bit from Mumbai. Let me start by asking you, Gopal, and you just heard Malvika there that Sahara's legal team is getting ready to mount a challenge as early perhaps as tomorrow. What could be the grounds of that challenge?
Well, frankly, I can't see any ground for the simple reason that the court today has said there is non-compliance of its order. Please come up with a clear plan of how you propose to make the payment, and till the next date of hearing you will be in judicial custody. So unless the plan comes up and the court is satisfied that it's concrete and they do intend to pay the entire money and by cheque or demand draft, I can't see any reason why the order can be modified or changed.
Okay, Gopal, I want you to comment on this, and again, this is information that we're getting from legal sources around the Sahara group. They claim that contempt of court has not been established because arguments are yet to be completed, that Subrata Roy was appearing before the court in a contempt matter, and no section provides for Roy's arrest at this stage. I want you to react to that.
Well, I think, the court has been extremely lenient in hoping that they would comply with the order. And if you defy and obey a direction given by the Supreme Court, then, the consequence is there for everyone to see today. So, in fact, it's been a case of giving time more than what a person is entitled to, especially after there was a judgment and directions were given. And if the court is satisfied that its orders have been deliberately flouted or disobeyed, they're entitled to pass an order as they did today.
KTS Tulsi, the same question to you. As we understand, the Sahara team is going to be mounting a challenge. Will the court really entertain this, given the fact that it is categorically stated that several opportunities were given to the Sahara group and to Subrata Roy to comply with the order, and they failed to do so repeatedly?
Well, it seems I am in entire agreement with Gopal, and I feel that the court is still taking a very lenient view of the matter, because if millions of people have been cheated and the proceedings are required to be undertaken, then the court will ensure that they are treated even under the criminal law, and a proper investigation is done and truth is established. Because what has appeared in the media is that many of the investors are non-existent and their addresses are non-existent. So if that kind of a widespread fabrication has been indulged in, the court certainly has the arms which are long enough to reach the bottom of this but
KTS Tulsi, do you believe Subrata Roy is in now for the long haul? Do you believe he's in for the long haul? Because, several proposals were made by Subrata Roy and his lawyers in court, which included repayment via the sale of properties, which included issuance of bank guarantees. In fact, a Sahara proposal that was made to the Supreme Court has just been mailed to the media, which has several items that have been proposed by the Sahara group, including what it would like SEBI to do as far as those accounts are concerned and verification of those accounts are concerned. But do you believe that any of this is going to cut any ice, even if the court were to entertain any sort of challenge?
I don't think the court is going to be convinced by, what SEBI has seized 3 accounts or more, I don't know, whatever. In all, they have about 27 crore. Now, when the liability or the amount that is collected by them and which they are supposed to be holding in trust on behalf of those investors runs into 20,000 crore or more, then there is no way the court is going to be satisfied with promises of mere promises or deposit of a pittance of the amount which they have directed. The court has given them a long rope, and it seems to me, from whatever observations your correspondents are relating, that the court's patience is almost at its end, and therefore they seem to be in for For a long haul, technicalities are not going to cut any ice. They will have to show the color of money to the court.
Absolutely. Gopal Jain, I want to come back to you because, as I said, we've just been emailed a press release by the Sahara Group. It's a 10-point proposal that the Sahara Group has made to the Supreme Court. It starts by saying it's humbly submitted that the Honorable Supreme Court may graciously be pleased to consider Sahara's proposal sympathetically and accept the same in the best interest of Sahara's crores of existing investors. Bank guarantees to the tune of 22,500 crore rupees and a bunch of other things. The court has in its order suggested that it may reschedule the hearing date or modify its order on the basis of the credibility of the proposal that the Sahara Group makes. How would you interpret that?
No, it's very, obviously the message is clear that proposals which have been made in the past lack in credibility. It was an attempt to show that you were actually complying with the order, but in reality you were not, which is why the investors have not been paid. So there are two aspects to it: the majesty of the law and compliance of a direction given by the Supreme Court, and ensuring that payment is made to these depositors and investors. These are the two things which I think are guiding the court. And it's very clear today that proposals given so far will not fall in the categorization of credible. So the time given from today till the next day is, please come up with something concrete, credible, which meets the interests of the investors, and that 20,000 crores is available by check or draft. So there's no question of now playing this game by offering something in the name of a proposal, but it's not measuring up to the requirements of...
So Gopal Jain, you're saying unless he puts money on the table, there is no question of any sort of modification or relief?
Yes, I think because the long rope has run out and now the color of the money is to be seen. All these other permutations, combinations, and offers and proposals which have been given have obviously not culminated in money on the table. So I think it's for them now to really look at that as the sort of factor which will probably, weigh with the court, that if the investors are indeed paid and they do see the money, that's the only reason or the only ground that I can see for any kind of relaxation in the order which was passed.
So KTS Tulsi, Subrata Roy to remain in Tihar jail at least till the 11th of March?
Well, seems likely, because you see, we must remember, they're not dealing with a subordinate judge. They're dealing with the highest court in the land. And you just can't take them for a ride. These judges have given them a long rope. They are not willing now to budge. And rightly so. I think if the court's patience is tested further, they will only come to grief. And I don't think any technical objections are going to raise.
No technical objections are going to cut any ice at this point in time. The court's patience already running very, very thin. Gopal Jain, KTS Tulsi, appreciate you joining us here this evening to take us through the implications of the Supreme Court's order and what it means for Subrata Roy. It's been a huge setback for the Sahara chief. He has now been taken to Tihar jail, which is where he's likely to be till the 11th of March, unless and until there is any relaxation offered by the Supreme Court. That, of course, is the big story this evening.